Howdy. Let's start off with this Moon Halo. Might be due to the volcanic eruption in Kamchatka we had some time ago. It's not the best picture. I tried to make some enhancements, but they didn't really work, so we have to go with that. But it's a moon picture, and maybe SO2 emissions. And I found another microwave and yet another stone. This is the color of the stone. I know the picture is not the best because it's a screenshot from a video, but it's just about the color. And I put it into the microwave and gave it a go. It was glowing very nicely. It didn't spark or there wasn't any blue flames. It smelled like sulfur. But after it cooled down, obviously I can hold it in my hand. It's cool again. It's very red. Now this is not the first stone which turns red after it has been in the microwave. And I'm not sure, it might be potassium. But let's talk about something interesting. About water and stuff. As I mentioned in my mountain water paper on page 99, water itself is a liquid crystal. So, I also made the video, a dragon, a cave, and what if water is a crystal and not a liquid? There's some dragon stuff and limestone caves and stuff in the beginning of the video, but then we go into the water thing. The origin of water anomalies hides in an experimentally inaccessible region of the phase diagram known as no man's land, bounded at low temperature by the domain of stability of amorphous gases, and at high temperature by the homogeneous nucleation line, below which liquid water loses its metastability. You can check out the video, there are the links to those papers below the video. And the thing about me saying water is a liquid crystal, it sparked some discussions whilst doing the paper, which was interesting. So, I stumbled across this article, I think today, it's already 2 days old, phys.org. Newly discovered electrical activity within cells could change the way researchers think about biological chemistry. Duke University. The human body relies heavily on electrical charges. Lightning-like pulses of energy flow through the brain, and nerves and most biological processes depend on electrical ions traveling across the membrane of each cell in our body. These electrical signals are possible in part because of an imbalance in electrical charges that exist on either side of a cellular membrane. Until recently, researchers believed that the membrane was an essential component to creating this imbalance, but that thought was turned on its head when researchers at Stanford University discovered that similar imbalance electrical charges can exist between microdroplets, guess what, of water and air. Isn't that fascinating? Now, researchers at Duke University have discovered that these types of electric fields also exist within and around another type of cellular structure called biological condensates. Maybe some kind of easy water. In the description box to the other video, there's a link to Gerard Pollack's presentation on easy water. Check it out. like oil droplets floating in water. These structures exist because of differences in density. They form compartments inside the cell without needing the physical boundary of a membrane. Double layers. A little warning, maybe this video stops abruptly because I am running once again out of memory space. So I will post it anyway. Inspired by previous research demonstrating that micro droplets of water interacting with air or solid surface create tiny electrical imbalances. The researchers decided to see if the same was true for small biological condensates. I have to admit I don't know exactly what a condensate is, but anyway. They also wanted to see if these imbalances sparked reactive oxygen redox reactions like these other systems. Appearing on April 28th in the journal Chem, their foundational discovery could change the way researchers think about biological chemistry. Do we have yet another paradigm shift in biological chemistry unfolding in front of our eyes? Maybe, hopefully. But anyway, it could also provide a clue as to how the first life on Earth harnessed the energy needed to rise. Yeah. If you think about crystals, they are in a way, energy circuits because they have a geometry. And water has a geometry, it's hexagonal. Look at the snowflake, for example. In a prebiotic environment without enzymes to catalyze reactions, where would the energy come from? Asked Yi van Dijk, a Duke postdoctoral researcher working in the laboratory of Ashutosh Chilkoti, the Alan El Kakanov Distinguished Professor of Biomedical Engineering, and Ling Chong Yu, the James L. Merriman Distinguished Professor of Biomedical Engineering. This discovery provides a plausible explanation of where the reaction energy could have come from, just as the potential energy that is imparted on a point charge placed in an electrical field. Yeah, like all the water in your body is easy water. It's carrying charge. It's a conductor. When electric charges jump between one material and another, they can produce molecular fragments that can pair up and form hydroxyl radicals, which have the chemical formula of OH. These can then pair again to form hydrogen peroxide in tiny but detectable amounts. But interfaces have seldom been studied in biological regime other than the cellular membrane, which is one of the most essential part of biology, says Dye. So we were wondering. It's always nice to read when scientists are wondering what might be happening at the interface of biological condensates, that is, if it is an asymmetric system too. Okay. Cells can build biological condensates to either separate or trap together certain proteins and molecules, either hindering or promoting their activity. Researchers are just beginning to understand how condensates work and what they could be used for. Because the Chilcotti laboratory specializes in creating synthetic versions of naturally occurring biological condensates, the researchers were easily able to create the test bed for their theory. After combining the right formula of building blocks to create minuscule condensates with the help from postdoctoral scholar Marco Messina in Christopher J. Chang's group at the University of California, Berkeley, they added a dye to the system that glows in the presence of reactive oxygen species. Their hunch was right. When the environmental conditions were right, a solid glow started from the edges of the condensates. Yeah, like easy water, it's at the edges. Charge accumulates on edges and peaks, confirming that the previously unknown phenomenon was at work. Yes, the easy water. Dye next talked with Richard Sayre. Maybe he should talk to Gerard Pollack as well. The Marguerite Blake Wilbur Professor of Chemistry at Stanford, whose group established the electric behavior of water droplets. Sayre was excited to hear about the new behavior in biological systems and started to work with the group on the underlying mechanism. Yeah, if I recommend something to some scientists, they shut up after a while. It's very boring. And they just put a group together in order to investigate something. Yeah, I think I could keep quite a few scientists busy. Inspired by previous work on water droplets, my graduate student Christian Camberlain and I thought that the same physical principles might apply and promote redox chemistry such as the formation of hydrogen peroxide molecules. Sayre said, these findings suggest we know why condensates are so important in the functioning of cells. Yeah, it's the the ether in a way. Most previous work on biomolecular condensates has focused on their innards. Yeah, I don't know what's an innard. Chilcotte said, Yifan's discovery that biomolecular condensates appear to be universally redox active suggests that condensates did not simply evolve to carry out specific biological functions, as is commonly understood, but they are also endowed with a critical chemical function that is essential to cells. While the biological implications of this ongoing reaction within our cells is not known, Dye points to a prebiotic example of how powerful its effects might be. The powerhouses of our cells, called mitochondria, create energy for all of our life's functions through the same basic chemical process. But before mitochondria, or even the simplest cells existed, something had to provide energy for the very first of life's functions to begin with working. Researchers have proposed that the energy was provided by thermal vents in the oceans or hot springs. Others have suggested this same redox reaction that occurs in water, microdroplets, was created by the spray of ocean waves. But why not condensates instead? Magic can happen when substances get tiny and their interfacial volume becomes enormous compared to its volume. Dye said, I think the implications are important to many different fields. Yeah, if you think about it, like easy water, if you know about easy water, it's creating a charge, energy. And if you think about humans or with many life forms, they are mostly created out of water. And there is somehow no empty space in a human body. So everything touches everything else. So we have surfaces all over the place which are filled with water, easy water, which has a hexagonal structure. And it provides energy just by being it. Yeah, I know it might sound crazy to some people if someone talks about water being an actual crystal, a liquid crystal. But let me show you just still yet another paper which I found very interesting. I made a video about it. I said I think in the video that I will read it later, like the whole rest of the paper. And I did. And I found something very interesting. It was this one, turbulence in collisionless cosmic plasmas. And we have to go down quite a bit. And then you will find this section of the text. Despite recent progress, magnetized plasma turbulence has only just started to yield its mysteries to researchers. Yeah, I have checked out some papers. Nowhere ever was mentioned, for example, Anthony Peratt. Maybe he could help out. But anyway, just a quick reminder of the craziness of thinking that water being a crystal and not a liquid. For computational reasons, Art Samasiki and colleagues and others have focused on the collisionless dynamics of ions while treating the electrons as a fluid. Yeah. Some random dude talking to chickens thinks that water might be a crystal, and they are treating electrons as a fluid. The ether. Maybe. Maybe the electrons are somewhat the ether. But anyway, I think I leave it here. I talked very much. Thank you. Bye.